Hi, everyone. Welcome to this, I would say, very special and also, in a sense, a very intimate call. Because for a long time, what happened to me is I'm good at what I do. My gifts, my attunement level, my channeling abilities, like who I am when it comes down to my gift is pretty much a masterpiece, what I created. And I love to assist people in the same. So that part is fully ignited. So that's my highly sensitive part, which is fully like turned into the diamond. That's how I experience it. When I'm in it, I'm in full bliss. That is and then there's also the driven part. And that part in me sometimes is not as in tune and as in alignment as my other part is. And so first of all, I want to say welcome to all of you, because probably it's this joyful recognition where you do not just feel sensitive or ultra sensitive, highly sensitive, whatever you call it. I don't say intuitive, although I know the gift is intuition. But what I mean as a human, when you're really honest, you're just ultra sensitive. So for a long time with me, I didn't really resonate with that. I thought it was a little bit weak. That was the God honest truth. I'm like, the people who say they have this, I don't really like that because I'm not really like that. I didn't want to belong to that group who was whining and moaning and waiting for life to happen. I'm like, I also have this other part of me, which is feisty and fiery and who wants to create and who's full of ambition and who feels like it's being turned on by the mission. And so that part in me, I really wanted to acknowledge because that part in me actually created results. So that was phenomenal, but the sensitive part was more the burden. And that other part was phenomenal, but it also resulted in a couple of burnouts because of the sensitivity, right? Little did I understand what was happening, but it just kind of went both ways. So it was now not just being that fully driven woman. And I want you to understand that the drivenness comes from the desire from your soul to move forward. And some of you, because I'm very multi-passionate as well, so that makes it even more all over the place. But some of you will feel very driven in more like a specific arena in your life. So it might not be that you're like me, desire to have 4 children and an international business and, right? It might be that you just focus on your family and you're literally all in when it comes down to that. So I want to acknowledge that the driven part is not necessarily where you have a business, where you have all these things, but you just feel the soul is like calling you into something bigger, into physical expansion. Yeah. So now we have that sensitive side. And for me, really, I felt ashamed. I remember when I was younger and everyone would go out clubbing and I would kind of crash around 12 or 1. And I could, for one, not bear all this alcohol. And for 2, I could not, I would have to recover from things like that in bigger ways. And I thought, humans are having fun in this way. What is wrong with me? And then I would feel all the emotions of all the people. And I could not find a gift in it whatsoever. I could only find the burden. As I was growing up, it was only a burden. I would see and hear and feel everything everyone else was not feeling and seeing. So for 1, I felt different. And for 2, it was like intense on my nervous system to digest all of that information. My mom now says, I feel so ashamed, because she would say, this is a Dutch saying, when you are being ultra sensitive in a sense, they would say you have long toes. Like you have long toes. So she would say that to me. They would say that on repeat. And I'm like, it's like, it felt very unfair because I would feel the depth. And there were multiple situations around animal harm. I remember my brother was like having these caterpillars in a thing and they fell into a pool of water. I remember as a child, I was all over the place. Like I could not handle that level of suffering because I saw them drowning, right? So it was like, oh no. And so this, if you are like me, probably you are experiencing or have been experiencing it, not necessarily as the delightful gift. It really is more so a burden, more so different than most. The driven part, usually we are being well celebrated on and in. Recognize that? Like if in this culture, in this reality, you produce like results, it's like, but they don't see the like impact it has on the other side. And so this literally has been the journey of my life. And it's interesting because I thought when I would teach things that people only wanted to learn how to channel. And now I'm realizing I'm actually in a very different place where I realize the women do not just need to channel, although that's part of it, like mastering the divine gifts which you have, but it's actually also mastering the physical aspects of being highly driven and mastering how you create in a reality and the different way of nourishment, love, balance, harmony, flow in your life that you get to have. And in a life like this, this can be challenging because all the other ones are doing it in a different way. That's why I love my own place, my classes, because the women in there are all in the same boat. We speak the same language. I don't need to explain any of this. They just understand and know. And so I thought it was very fascinating that even like a couple of years into the business now, I was still like not very sure about sharing this part because parts of me think then they will think I'm weak. Who wants to be in a space? The truth is we're human, right? But that is the so coded reality from when I was younger, still going through my mind, although now I'm no longer responding to it. Like today, I took 2 baths, not just 1, like 2, because I felt that was good for my system. And so let's see what is in the comments. Same here. The sensitive part was a burden for me for a long time. Thank you for that. Not a pleasure to me to be taken visiting the zoo. I got angry only 4 years old to see. Yeah. Right. So we have all of these intense experiences. And so as I'm teaching and understanding more of how energy works, what recently became very clear is that the nervous system is very important in the allowing and the connection of the life force. So when the nervous system is out of whack, out of balance in whatever way, because it's overstimulated, it's either overstimulated or undercharged with life force. It's one or the other, right? So it's one or the other. When that happens, we cannot live and be in the full harmony with the gift that we really have, which is that divine part. All of you, if you are here and you resonate with this, it's because you have these gifts. You have the gift of the drivenness, which means I desire to bring something to this planet in physical form. I desire to live an abundant life. I desire to do that within my job, within my family, within the community, within whatever form. There's no rule about how driven looks like, but you just feel this influx in energy where you just want to do that, right? So it's not that you are the highly sensitive empath who doesn't want to be in anything. You actually want both, which is a more complex, as you can imagine, experience, because one part of you needs a break and the other part wants to create. So it's like, how do I do this? And so what I realized is what really landed for me in this last week is that the connection between your nervous system, but also the embodiment, because it happens through that, right? Your light channel, your nervous system, they're basically through. The one is the life force, the other one is the light force, okay? So they connect in bigger ways and it starts to shift in bigger ways. So your abilities, if you allow them, start to amplify, and your abilities to create actually also start to amplify, but not in the normal way, no longer in the way like, oh, let's put all the things into motion, let's work really hard. It's quite the opposite. It's like, let's structure my life in a way, and I already can hear the voices within saying, but I can't because I have to take care of my job, my family, all my things, my business. The truth is, we are at a new stage. And so I call the women like me, I call it like the divine women, because that's really what I feel. I've been looking for words, like allowing them to land, and this came pretty recently. That is who I am, but that's also the women I work with. They are divine women. They're not just divine humans. They're not your ordinary woman. They're not just ambitious. They are divine by nature, but they're also very much like centered and aware in their female presence on this plane. It's both. And as you can imagine, the creation power comes now from a very feminine source rather than and a lot of us have been in the trap, if you are like me, doing, taking care of everyone, which is all very masculine energy, rather than receiving, allowing, structuring your life in a completely different way. Breaks my heart when people hurt trees or animals. Yeah. Flight, fight, or freeze. This is literally what the nervous system starts to do. Like, I realize that a lot of people do not experience that as intense as I do. I still thought people would understand parts of it, but they don't. They really don't. And so you are of a different breed. Your nervous system is wired different. You come to deliver something different on the planet. There's a reason why there's just so many people highly sensitive and just like even less people highly sensitive and extremely driven. It's because they have a big mission, and it's because you are a pioneer. And even though I would say I'm fully connected to my gifts, I'm also fully connected to my creation power. Because I've been creating a beautiful family, a business, like a team, like a beautiful lifestyle. So everything, when it comes down to those things, is in place. And simultaneously, it is here shifting. We're literally at a time where it's like, hold on. And there was a reason why the round table came forward, which are, if you have not been paying attention, I will explain a little because it's important in the story, where it's a place for the woman within you, the divine woman, to integrate. Because what starts to happen there is in a 12-month cycle, there's a different initiation of your priestess goddess in every month. These are literally parts which will ignite life and light force within. It starts to shift whole of who you are into this divine woman within, where it's no longer, I want to be the priestess of the past or the ancient one. I want to remember who I was one day. It's like, I am the one who is all that is. Make sense? This is a different way. It's no longer reaching out for all of these past lives and past lives experiences and trying to figure out who you were and what it was. It's like, it has nothing to do with this. This is an attunement with the frequency which is available for you so that your life force and your light force can come in absolute harmony in the divine woman you are. So I was first very hesitant about the whole thing. I was like, I'm not really into ceremonies because that is too much into the other end of the spectrum. So I had a lot of things going on, but I could feel for my woman and for the women in my community, this is essential right now. This 12-month experience is essential. And so because it will adjust and attune and ignite and allow and embody you to a new part. It's not just the divine part, where many people come into my world, they're looking for the divine part. And I'm like, it's already there. We only need to kind of understand that you see your own divine part. That is really not what it's all about. Although you will see the expansion of your gifts and your capacities, because the remembrance will take place if you're near me. You're like, oh, I actually also have that. Oh, she's telling this story. Oh, I actually recognize all of that, right? So there's a lot of remembrance happening when you're in my space because of me, but also because of the other women in my world, right? Of all of the other women. So there's a lot of that going on. Now, the initiations in itself are like anchoring points on your timeline. And what starts to happen is it starts to not just say, oh, let's bring out the past or let's bring out it starts to create this vortex of energy, especially because we are in it together, where it starts to unlock different energies within you, not just multidimensional, because that is something we've done for a long time, calling in the codes, calling in the multidimensionality, which is exquisite. But the truth is now it's time to embody it in the divine human you really are. And so these moments in time, why is it once a month? Because that's anchoring points. So the system can adjust, so the field can adjust, so that it can become this unified field rather than this beautiful experience of light and then just continue to be the human I was. That is not the intention. The intention is full embodiment in every single cell and allowing your relationships, your way of receiving, your way of sensuality, being fully connected with your magnetic self, like all of it, how you operate in family, how you operate in when it comes down to cleansing your energy, like all of that are very much intimate, sacred rituals within yourself. Rather than having to attend into a ceremony, these are the ceremonies for you personally to hold and to host for the woman within. And it will make a lot of sense once you enter the portal, and a lot of you are already in it. What I also simultaneously felt, what is missing in this part is the deep embodiment, because the driven side wants to have clarity. It wants to have structure. It wants to have focus. It wants to have goals and physical stuff. Like if you have a driven part in you, just watch yourself. You want physical things in manifestation. You're not going to settle only with divine activations. That's more where people enter my circle of light and they feel fully like activated in that place, because it is beautiful and these are initiations, but it's not necessarily embodiment, right? It's like allowing the codes to land, allowing yourself to expand. It's a very different thing. And I realized for the women who are walking this path of initiation, and it is for your divine woman, it is like an important moment in life where all of the energies, future energies, past energies, but it's also like healing of some wounding and of some things which are not in harmony so that it can come together. Why in a group? I mean, there's already 40 or something, over 40 in the group. It's because that energy starts to generate a whole new energy, which you can tap into. And so I was actually very amazed at the speed where people started to enter the spots. I'm like, when did this happen? It just made sense. I didn't even do really something. I was just 20 minutes kind of sharing, and that was that. It didn't really make sense. But I think there's a recognition and an understanding of what is really going on. Now, as I am going through all of these motions and the attunement of my portals and of my channels, which is a pretty intense process, it's intense. It's not easy. You can feel the physicality. It's literally as if my whole spine has been burning for a week now. Like that is the energy going through my veins. It's as if my limbs are feeling like, because it's rewiring at hyper speed. And I know it's important and I'm just allowing it to happen. My capacity to understand and to lead myself through this is now in a whole new way. And that's why I felt so called to share it, because I am actually doing it as a person, as a woman in a very different way. And what I see happening is that time starts to accelerate, things start to come together in bigger ways, but also the old is being purged at hyperspeed. So again, this is not a path for the weak, like, or the faint-hearted. It just isn't. And that's why if you have the driven side, you're made to create this embodiment piece. Not everyone is called into this embodiment piece, and that is perfectly okay. But if you are called into this embodiment piece, what I wanted to create is a 12-month experience where you're not just experiencing the initiations, although it's magic. I mean, I've already received such tremendous great feedback. So that is like in itself is beautiful. I just understand that you need more if you want to also please the driven side within you, because this will like literally allow you to stand into the light. But as we know, it's duality. So we also need to stand into the light and into the physicality. And so that is why I've been feeling into my space, which is my divine wealth empowerment space, which is an exceptional space. The level of questions, the energy, the women, it's exactly what I've always wanted. Like there's no one in that place where I'm like, it's phenomenal. And I actually realized that I'm like, I manifested all these phenomenal women in my space. And so I feel if you feel called into this part to really allow yourself, basically, the gift of attunement to the divine woman within, which is, I have space for my divine wealth to be expressed through my gift, through my ultra sensitive side, and to really explore that in depth, because that is clearly what is happening also in the divine wealth part. It's the activation of your gifts, is the attunement to the energies, but it's also the new energies coming in. How do I navigate that? And now we're coming into the other part, which is the embodiment part, which is as essential. Like this week, we've talked about birthing new identities, and it's happening. But for people like us, it's happening in a very unique way. It's not just thinking about your identity and here we go. There's a whole intimate process included when it comes down to this. And it's a very energetical, very quantum field dynamics. And as you know, my tribe knows exactly how to do it for us, which is phenomenal. And so they will gift us a new topic every month. So what now starts to happen in the one part, we are walking into the initiation. So your woman will receive all of the initiations in every field possible in your life. Remembrance codes, past life experiences, family, wealth, like your gifts, your sensuality, your pleasure, how you purge, how you clean, new begin, like all of the things. So that whole cycle is into place. But in order to literally create a foundation for you where you cannot just experience it, but become it in this different way. And I feel this cycle, which will start right now. I usually start a cycle in April and I stop doing it, but it just feels again like, oh, there's a new cycle starting. It makes sense. These are connected. And so in this other part, you will receive the embodiment classes for the driven side, which gets to understand the energetics and how to navigate in your business, in your family life, in how you hold yourself, in the breaks, in all of that. It is a different path than what I've done before. It really is. And I feel this is for the highly driven, highly sensitive women. What is different about this place? There's a real connection. I asked them, like, what about this place? Why do you come in this place anyway? That was one of the main things, like the realness of the connection. Being in a space where there are women with the same like level of intuition, with the same level of desire for high level conversation, the same level of excitement of everything what is being channeled and is being given in the class. It's like, I get fully excited about it, just to say, because for me, it's new every time. And I can see this is what the energy is. And then the level of change and acceleration and growth and the allowing of every single part of you to be embodied. So it's the gift, which is the sensitive side, fully activated, fully attuned, and simultaneously your driven side, which gets to create a reality of choice. And so I am inviting you into this space. I feel really excited. And I can feel there's so much change coming because it's not, the truth is, this is not just for you. It's very important for my human. I can feel that, like it's important for the woman I am, because what we will do is we will create a new paradigm. And what I mean by that is the new paradigm is a new way of creation, a new way of accelerated manifestation, a new way of timelines, a new way of attunement to your gifts, and certainly a powerful new way of living on this physical plane as the divine woman you are in the first place. I understand you are also a business owner, a mother, a sister, a family member. But what starts to happen is when you start to prioritize the divine woman first, reality and dimension starts to collapse. I'm experiencing it right now in phenomenal ways, and it will alter the whole game. So we have the opportunity to consistently to walk as the woman, right? Normal, just a woman. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you're looking for the integration of your driven part and the highly sensitive part, altering it in absolute creation power, But in the middle, there's a nervous system which is relaxed. There's enough space. There's enough nourishment. You're actually overflowing with life and light force. That is the divine woman. She brings it together. So if you feel overwhelmed or burned out, it's because you're not in full harmony living with your life and your light force. If you feel not connected, disconnected, or you're not feeling like I'm putting my gift, it's because you are not fully connected to your light force. So in these 12 months, it's all about connecting you fully to your life force and simultaneously connecting you fully to your light force so that both sides of you can elevate. And so it's no longer a burden, but it's actually an exceptional place to be. There's a lot of connection. There are a lot of different classes. I can go over it a little bit, but there will be a weekly Q&A, which is phenomenal. All the questions and the level of questions is important. And these are high-level questions, so we will receive high-level answers. The attunement of just being in a space where you can breathe all of who you are. It's like, welcome home. I thought I came to this plane to experience this. You will experience that in that place. Then simultaneously, there will be monthly practicums, which it is you connect with someone else, an actual human, like a woman. And we do that on Zoom, and there will be the 60-minute experiential sessions with the two of you, different duo every time. So what it happens is, it's not just the practice of your divine gifts and who you are and having a real life conversation. You meet people. That is what happens in this community. You meet like-minded people and they will meet up and connect with each other. So that is something what I firmly believe in, that we're walking into this together and not on our own. And also, there is twice a month an embodiment class. The level is just accelerating. I cannot say it in another way. The beauty of it is that you actually get access to all the prior embodiment classes from the last, I think, 5 months. And so you can also tune into that. But the truth is we're already here. So usually it's like, just come on the train and allow yourself to be in this place of absolute abundance. Now, I need to kind of say something about this, because the tendency can be, as I allow my gifts to spread like abundantly into your world, that you want to be part of everything. And what if I miss something? What do you think happens with your highly sensitive nervous system? It gets instant stress. Yeah. That is clearly not what we're going to do. So this is a place of abundance where you get to choose, what am I taking from the buffet? And sometimes you will love to listen to it in the recording because you can. And sometimes you want to feel like the life energy, and that feels good. But the beauty is, the abundance is not to stuff your face and to feel sick afterwards. The abundance is here so that you can tap in so many different ways. And you can allow yourself in this upcoming year just to get exactly what you need. So it's also a training of your woman to like take care of yourself in the digestion of the coding, of the information, of the abundance, what you will receive. Why in abundance? Because I do believe in a lot of moments of true connection. I do believe in that a lot. I also do believe in creating a real life connection, a real life community, not just some kind of program. That's not what it is. It's real connection. It's real transformation. And it's allowing yourself to turn into that divine woman in your own timing, in your own pace, which is important. And some of you want to race because the driven side takes over and it feels all aligned and it's fine. You can do that. And some of you want to pace it, and it's also good. There's both what you get to hold. And the beauty is you take it in because you're in the space, and just being in the space. I've been interviewing people now for like, I don't know, I think I've done 15 or something. And then I channel the message and I channel who they are basically at the core. You actually also receive something like that when you join. And what I realize is that all of them have created communities, businesses, impact. And at the end of the day, it's because who they are in their field. That's what creates the transformation. So basically, you can just sit in this call and allow it to kind of come to you, and that will be that. And then the adjustment will happen anyway. So the work ethic of the driven one gets to be released, because then the space for absolute connection with your light and who you are can come in, and more of your divine woman can literally be embodied. I love it already. Overload. Yeah, it's too much. So I realize that some of my clients are just trying to follow everything, and they write down all the things, and they just, it feels like work. I'm like, it should be like a fun ride. There's an abundance. You cannot, do you know, there's just an abundance, because I love to create abundance. But sometimes it's also like, okay, how do I digest all of that abundance? Right? So that is a whole different game. Yeah, do you know, I feel this, what I'm actually sharing right now, I know there's also men on the call, is very much the feminine path. So if you greatly resonate with feminine energy, that might be for you, but it's a very feminine orientated path. So it's not an exclusion, to be very clear. But so if you feel in being a man or whatever in the middle, we have a lot of different options right now. If you feel called into it, it's for you. But I'm mainly speaking to women because I'm a woman myself. It's not that I'm excluding, but it's just that I know how it is for me. And I don't know how it is for a man. So that's something I don't know. But if you feel like this is for me, of course you can come and join, 100%. Nervous system is foundational, loving the light force and light force. This has already dropped in. Thank you. The universe's energies are so powerful. Yes. Anyway, so are there any questions about what I'm saying? Is it landing? Can you feel this is for me? Does it resonate? Just to see if I can be of more support for you. I feel it's important because it's literally me calling in the women who desire this and who are aligned with this. So if anything in you is like, it's not for me, that is perfectly okay, because it's a very aligned group of women, actually. That's the honest truth. They are very aligned with this, what we do. And I feel very excited about creating this 12-month cycle and making it more available. So what I will do is I'm going to do two things. In the meanwhile, you can just ask, like put comments, and then I will look at it. I will do two things. For one, I'm going to make the two things available for you, which is my Divine Wealth Accelerator. And to kind of do a recap, that includes twice a month an embodiment class, every month a Q&A, and also a practicum. It also includes 4 personalized calls. Yeah, so that is that part. Then we have the initiation path, right? The round table, the goddess initiations, the priestess initiation. This includes 12 initiations, okay? One has already been done. The next one will be upcoming Monday. You can catch up, but the next one will be Monday. So that's also why I want to remind you. And then one every month over the next 12 months. This also includes my Wealthy Woman bundle. This also includes a personalized spoken initiation from me for you. Whenever you feel ready to receive that. Some of you already asked this. Some of you feel, no, I'm going to wait for it. Whenever the moment is there, it is something to treasure almost, I would say, in the heart, because it's an absolute frequency attunement. And sometimes when you listen to it the first time, and I actually did it for myself to feel what it feels like the first time it's landing in a way. If you listen to it 10 times, it's like, oh, wow. It's very personalized. So that is included in this. Now, normally the bundle, normally the round table is 777 euros, or you can do a payment plan of 77 euros a month. And then the accelerator is 5,555 euros. What I decided for now, for this initiation cycle, is that I make it a 4,444 euro offer. So that's a lot of discount, as you can imagine. It's an 1,100 plus a 700 or 800 euro discount. Why? Because I want to make it more accessible. You can also do a payment plan, which is 444 monthly. Okay, so that's also the option. If you're like, I don't know, I prefer to maybe just do the round table, you can also still join. Now, to make it even more personalized, what I decided, and I've not done this for a long time, is to also make, but this is if you want this. This is not if you just want to speak to me, if you, none of that is that. This is if you are serious about, I want to know if this is a good fit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open some spots, because I realize some of you know me, and for you, it's sometimes easy to decide because you know me, you trust me, you know what work I deliver. Some of you are new in my world. You don't know who I am. It's like, sounds good, but who are you? And so in that case, sometimes it's nice to connect, to be able to feel my energy, but also to be able to ask your questions. So I will open up my calendar. I think it will be Monday and Tuesday for those of you who have questions. If a lot of people will come to the calendar, that means I'm also going to open the calendar. Johanna will open up her calendar, who's in my team. She's also part of every single class. She knows the work. She's like one of the coaches, basically, as well. She's very like close. We have a team which is very close. Another part of my team is Cinta. She's doing all the backhand, so you will know who they are. Like, they're very much connected. My sister and Johanna are basically like part of what I do. And so I feel really excited to invite you into this piece to literally elevate and master your driven side so that it becomes a true gift, to go literally in. That's why the Q&A, you get to ask all of the questions, all of the things. And the beautiful thing, it always resonates with everyone else. So it's never a question which is like, why is she asking this? And no, it's always one in resonance. And then the embodiment classes every bi-weekly just give you the energy capacity and the understanding of what is literally happening in your body, what is happening, how to create, how to manage, like very practical but highly divine teachings. And of course, the initiations are just the cherry on the cake. It's just beautiful to have, like, to listen to them again and again and again, and to allow your whole system to attune to that. What starts to happen is that your spiral, meaning your column of light, which is your life force, your nervous system, and your light force start to solidify in a very new way. So we've been heard about the crystalline body. That's already there. Do not worry. Some of you are still chasing it. Most of you already have that. Right? It's just an upgrading. I mean, I know you're ultra sensitive, so you know that the level of sensitivity and attunement really changed in the last years. Yeah. So this is an advanced next step where this system is changing and altering, but where it's equally important to start manifesting in the physical world. It's not just, because that's usually when you just allow the filling up of the channel, but there's no expression into the world. Both is equally important. If you're only receiving, you're missing the expression. And so both are equally like important. So I am very excited. Oh, can you please speak about the difference between integrating energies and embodying them? Yes. So let's see how I go about it. Integrating is where you're being it in life, where you're expressing it into the creations. Now it's integrated, right? Now you are literally integrated in the manifestation. Embodiment is that you embody it in your body. Integration is further. It's the expression in your physical reality, if that makes any sense. So a lot of us are already embodied in a lot, but what is lacking is the expression. And for your driven self, this is a problem, because you can feel the desire for more, the desire for greater things. Like, you feel that you cannot stop it. And it can be very frustrating if you cannot manifest it, because then the driven side is continuously chasing something, not understanding how to manifest it. That's why this part is so essential. So that voice and that, I would say, I would always feel that it felt restless, like a restlessness. I came to do something. What am I going to do? Like that that becomes clear. For one, because you get to ask all of your questions and I can make it very personalized. For two, because of the teachings and the energy attunement you will be receiving. Your reality will start literally shifting once you embody your divine woman. It's very different. Yeah, makes sense. timelines collapsing, like like going, all of that stuff. I can explain it, but the truth is, when you're in it, you will say, you told me that. I said, yeah, I told you this, but now you know what I mean, right? So sometimes it's also like trying to explain what a cherry tastes like. It's like, I can explain all the things. The truth is, you know, whether you are in resonance, I want this, I'm ready for this, let's go. And I know some of you, I can see in you, I've actually received I don't know why I'm actually coming into your space. I just feel drawn, right? Some of you have that. You just came in and you're like, because there's a resonance. And I feel that resonance is the calling. If the resonance is not there, this is just not for you. If the resonance is there, but you feel the fear and the doubt, perfect. Come on the call. We talk. And I will never force you into anything, because my thing is that I work with women in their power. I work with women in their power. And so if they are empowered into making whatever decision, you're more than welcome. That is the energy. I hold a high level of energy in my containers. And so I only work with women and or men. You're very much welcome in your power, if that makes any sense. Yeah? If I need to do the work in front to get you ready, you're not ready. Like, that's just what it is. You need to be ready. I am not readying you. When you're ready, you come, right? That makes sense, right? So embodiment is the part where things all get fully clear and you really feel it in your body. Embodiment is where your body is literally shifting into different energies, different coding, where your body is like, it's in your body. But there's something different in, like, let's do this. Let's give a different example. You are embodied in love. A lot of you are, yeah? Creating a love relationship or creating unconditional love in your life is something different. You are embodied in light. Creating your life's mission impact on the world is something different. So most of the people on this call are embodied. That's actually no longer what the question is. But for the driven ones, the frustration of not being able to create and fulfill your mission is a big, real thing. And if you're like me, even though I'm doing my thing, it's still, there's always more to do in this world. So I know that that drive wants to co-create with your abilities, with your like divine abilities, which are clearly there. And if it doesn't meet each other, so I don't know, the love relation doesn't come into the home or the business, the money, the health, that means there's clearly not an integration of both forces, because if life and light force connect, boom, here we go. So if that is not happening in your life, it's because of that. You're so welcome. So I will send you all an email tomorrow with the details. If you already want to know stuff, you can email. I'm not sure if my team is still available because it's evening, but you can at least send an email, and then whenever they read it, they will reply to you. We have close connection. So if you send something, you will receive a quick response usually. That's how we do it. We like to stay in touch and connected. It's a real thing. This community, entering my space, is a real thing for your woman. Most women stay for a long time because it's a safe place, but it's simultaneously a very exhilarating place, which is for the sensitive, driven ones, exceptional. So I hope I clarified all the things. You will receive an email. If you want to join quickly and you want to catch up, right, because you maybe want to listen to the activation before we enter Monday, you can, but just know there's no push. You cannot lose. It's important to make a clear decision out of an empowered place within yourself. I do never like to be pushed when it comes down to attending. I know, and this is also, I think, with driven women in their power,